Hey, Grace Point Church, did you know that today is National Prayer Day? It doesn't mean that this is the only day that we as Christians should pray, but I guess it's an acknowledgement of the importance of prayer and a sort of call for God's people to pray. I don't know when this whole thing started, but it's kind of a cool reminder for us of of the fact that we're invited to talk to God, and there's a lot for us to be praying about. I wonder if someone asked you, "Hey, how can I pray for you today?" How you would answer that question if you were to be honest and real. I wonder if there'd be a praise or something you're wrestling with, maybe something that's coming up, maybe just a desire of your heart that you want to ask God to grow you in some way or to show you something. Maybe you're feeling lost or scared or sad. This Sunday, we're going to explore the topic of grief. Our sermon is going to be titled The Godliness of Grief. Because prayer isn't always meant to be pretty, it's not always meant to be positive, but prayer oftentimes is an opportunity for us to be real with someone who understands and cares and can listen. And so just pouring our heart out to God. How is that valuable? Why should we prioritize that activity, that sort of prayer, as often as we can? That's what we're going to talk about on Sunday. And so I hope that today you can start thinking about that and maybe even have an opportunity during lunch break or maybe at night before you go to sleep to spend some time with God and just to communicate with Him. Maybe just spend some time listening, maybe share something that's on your heart. There's this song I've been listening to the last few days that I've just loved. Sometimes I have to listen to a song over and over again, and then it finally kind of clicks and it goes from my head into my heart, and I start to believe it. But the song is called I Will Carry You by Ellie Holcomb. And I love it because it's kind of in line with some of the passages of scripture I've been looking at in terms of grief and being honest before God and just how God responds to that. And so the song is actually written from the perspective of God, like God's perspective of us. And if you get a chance sometime over the next few days, check it out. It's called I Will Carry You by Ellie Holcomb. It starts like this. She sings, I know you're tired. I see it in your eyes. All that anxiety that rules your mind. I'll be your shield when you don't feel like you've got strength enough to fight. So this is like from God's perspective. I'll stand by your side. I will carry you through your darkest night when you're terrified. I will carry you when the waters rise, when your hope runs dry. I will carry you. That is a beautiful truth. I do think that's the way God responds to us, and God's desire is to hold us up when we are weak, because we're not always going to go through easy things. And so I want to welcome you and your friends and anyone you know. If you've been dealing with some grief recently, you've been wanting to learn how to grow in this area of prayer, of talking to God, being real and honest. This Sunday is going to be an exploration of that topic, and it's going to be a welcome place for those of us who don't have it all figured out and who are in some moments of grief, or maybe we've gone through some grief in the past that we're still working through. Could be big grief, could be little griefs. But God pays attention to those things, and He wants us to pray to Him. So today is National Prayer Day. Start talking with God this week, and let's see what God does through His Word.